Ready? We are live from Columbus, OH, and this is the Ramsey Show Aftershow show on a Monday. In what month is it now? Lose track. March. It's March. That does not sound that loud. Let me kick it up notches. Try my other mic again because that might be too much. Let's see. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it might be better. Okay. That might. Okay, yeah, that's much, much better. Yeah, I don't know. It's the same exact thing, same mic, the same software, but for some reason, day to day, it changes how loud the sound is. I do not know why. Anyway, this is the Ramsey Show After Show, and you're watching it on youtube.com/coachstevemoney. And for my other financial content, you just scroll right back. You just scroll past the Oak Island dimension trying to set in today. Past the Oak Island playlist, and you'll find the Ramsey Show After Show. See, I don't have dementia. See, I got rid of the Dave from there. It's only been on there 4 years or so since they changed the name to the Ramsey Show, but I finally deleted the Dave part of it. And the answering your financial questions playlist as well. So between the two of those, there's probably about 800 or so hours of me talking about finances, fun times, and of course, singing an occasional song lyric or so. Speaking of song lyrics, the music playlist has 11 Ramsey adjacent songs in there, including You Belong Debt Free. You Belong Debt Free. And on Friday should be the 500th episode of the Ramsey Show After Show. And for that, I will have a brand new song. Market report. This would be not only down, but it'd be what the kids call down bad, or at least they called it that 10, 20 years ago, something like that. And so not a great day at all. But of course, no matter what this says here, unless you sell, you do not lose this amount, this percentage in your retirement account. It's only if you sell and actually take out. You can actually even sell, but I mean, if you sell it when it's down, it is going to be a loss for you. Then what you had, it might not be a loss for you overall, considering your contribution amount. But the thing is, days like today are going to happen. And so, you can look at it on the bright side. If you need to buy, you're buying on sale. How about that? So, but you buy on schedule, up or down. You don't try to time any market. Don't try to time the housing market either. You buy when you can afford it and when you want to buy, not trying to catch a bubble or anything like that. The most followed single stock on Google. What's the most down here? Is it going to be the Tesla? 15.43% down. Yeah. So yeah, that's that. And Elon Musk says they're facing Twitter. The artist formerly known as Twitter, X, is facing a massive cyber attack, apparently. Oh, let's see what the rest of the planet is doing. Oh, look, down. almost completely down in the Asia. The other one was Europe, where it's completely down as well. Not as much of, not as high a percent as the U.S. Let's see what the futures are. Futures probably down as well. Yep, futures down as well. So we'll have to check on it tomorrow and see what is up with that. So the currencies, theoretically, the U.S. dollar would be up higher on bad days, but it's not, at least not all against all currencies. It is down to the euro, down to the yen, but it is up on the British pound, love, on the bloody quid. It's up on the Canadian dollar, sorry, and it's up on the Australian dollar, mate. So, very good. So we'll take, you take what wins you can get. Just want to look at the headlines. I have one article, I think. Boom, 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 boom. And it's that one. Okay, so nothing else. And I think that'll do it for the market report. It's been 4 years, probably closer to 5 years since they changed it. Sid, I need a ruling on that. I have no concept of time, so don't know. Let's check to see how, for fun. Let's check to see how crypto is doing. Oh my. So that bad boy, it's at 79,000. It was at 105 not that long ago. So how much of a, was it like a month? 17% down in a month. That is crazy. It be volatile. We know that, and that's why we don't deal with it. Just interesting to see what it's doing, since a whole bunch of people believe in it big time. Earnings calendar, we got Adobe on the Wednesday. For the article today from Fox Business, and I clicked on it not knowing, but look who's on the page here. Mr. Camel. How about that? And so, as you can see, I got ready for this much earlier in the day, and so why? And the futures must have been up at that point. I mean, I guess I could reload it and see what's up. Yeah, I don't think that's right. I don't think that's right. Because the Google should be updated. Let me check it one more time. Hit me, baby, one more time. So unless they're using something else to figure out the futures, that's a nar on that over here at the Fox Business. Older Americans amassing credit card debt to cover expenses. AARP fines. American Association of Retired Persons, I believe is what that is. More than a third of Americans over 50 with credit card debt said their balances are higher than last year. Yeah. And so how that happens is if prices go up, or if you personally decide that you want to spend more money than that and you don't make more money and you buy things on credit cards, that's how that goes up over time. Imagine that. Nearly half Americans aged 50 and older with credit card debt are using credit cards to cover basic living expenses, with debt balances on the rise, according to a new survey by AARP. I think we're at all-time high for credit card debt as a country, regardless. So the olds are not going to be immune from that. 47% using it to pay for basic living expenses, and that's not sustainable. You can't do that. I mean, if you've got, five more years to live, then, maybe you can get away with that. But other than that, you aren't going to be on the hook for that. So that's a nar to do that. You would go without stuff. You would stop eating out, for example. If you look at the 50 to 64-year-olds, that group is potential on the runway ramp to retirement. This is the group that is particularly feeling the impact of credit card debt. Well, that's why Mr. Ramsey recommends to have donut in credit card debt. What's concerning there is they have proximity and line of sight to a possible retirement. They'll have to make tough choices. Yeah, they should have already done that and chosen not to get whatever caused them to have to use debt to get something. And if you are not bringing enough in to pay for things that are 100% necessities, then you got to work more. And you look at your budget again and you actually decide, oh, this is something that I said we needed, but we don't need it. I just wanted it. So being honest with yourself is really key in this, in doing budget. Because need, of course, vastly overused. So good to see George there. Didn't necessarily have anything to do directly with the story, but they want you to click on that and watch that, and I'm sure that's good advice from Mr. Camel. Yep, I said hey to Sid. What up, RK? Marshall. Going to need some YouTube video upload tutoring sometime over the next week. Not sure live would go well, but might try it. Ramsey Mingle event is 321. Cruise starts 322. Oh, you're going to YouTube from your phone. Oh, that's awesome. That's great. Bring the gimbal. See, Marshall has all the equipment. I don't even have that. If I had I wish I had a gimbal for the when I did that. When was that? Was that Christmas Eve that I went to Easton Town Center? Can't remember. And walked around for 2 or 3 hours. If you saw any of that, I could not find my car at the end, and so that made the stream like another hour longer. And of course, as soon as I turned as soon as I stopped the stream, I found the car like immediately. Not bringing a laptop to visit, will be phone only, and I don't think I can do any editing. Yeah, Marshall. That'll be great for those of us who don't get to go or people curious as to what it be like. That'll be fabulous. We go to reddit.com/r/Dave Ramsey and we look at questions. If you want a group that's run by Ramsey Solutions, that would be on Facebook, and it is called the Ramsey Baby Steps Community. If it's called anything else, it's just fans that are running it, just like that are running this subreddit. And when you see it say new posts, that means that yes, Steve did prepare today and has it on the right question. Love donkey butts. Alrighty. That sounds like a niche there. Question about step 2. It's after 1 and comes before 3. Next question. No. Let's see. So after the saving of $1,000, and am I supposed, probably, to throw every extra dollar above the $1,000 into my debt? Yes! You have figured it out perfectly. Now, the problem here is you just figure that out, right? And then you stop there and you stop having other things going around in your head as far as doing anything else with that money or thinking that would even be what's advised. Currently have a no interest loan and it doesn't require regular payments. That doesn't matter. That's still debt. That's still step 2. But having only 1,000 in my savings seems so low and quite frankly a bit risky. And that doesn't mean that there's more. That's just a fun sign off that some of the people do. Meaning that like they're deep in thought and they have a deep question here, and it's really not. Most people, I would say, don't think $1,000 is enough, and that's fine. You know why? Because it's not supposed to be enough to make you comfortable. If you're comfortable, you're not going to do as much about your paying off your dumb ass debt. So it doesn't matter if it has the interest part. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. That's step 2, and you would do that before saving 1 penny above the $1,000. So the question about step 2 is to do step 2 as it was intended to be done without having more as an emergency fund. Statement East 5864, to buy or not to buy? That is the question. Marshall Martin, not a YouTuber. I have no vids or anything on my channel. I have it so I could save vids I like and watch what I like. And now you're gonna upload some, so you will be a YouTuber. Congratulations. Welcome to the club. Male 40, lady 31. My husband and I moved from Virginia to Pennsylvania and have been renting a townhome for about $3,500 a month. We still own our house back in Virginia, and this is a no. People are nutty with that. You know, the consensus, like, among the, like, financial bros and such, is like, oh, you never sell real estate. Bull crap. If you are not in the same state and can run it yourself, a lot of times you end up making just a couple $100 per month on a freaking house. And so let's see, we still own a house in Virginia and currently rent it out. Mortgage is $2,700 and we rent it out for $4,000. Okay, I mean that's good, but if you are not living there, somebody else is managing it, I'm assuming. We owe about $399K on the mortgage, and house is valued at $800K. Since yeah, you would just sell that. And it's fine since you just moved to PA. If you're not familiar with, that's Pennsylvania. If you're not familiar with the area and stuff like that, your first time there, then yeah, you would rent for a year to figure out if you want to stay there, and if you do want to stay there, what neighborhood you want to house in. And so, but yeah, you don't debt leverage a mortgage. You don't do that. So you would not keep that. That would not be the Ramsey advice. Since relocating, we have a 19-month toddler and 1 baby on the way. We would love to plant roots and buy another house in Pennsylvania since our family has expanded, but the housing market is tough, and decent home with little to no renovations will be about 1.2 to 1.5 million. Hey. They have cheaper than $1.2 to $1.5 million houses in Pennsylvania. This is just stupid. These people are stupid. My question is, should we buy right now or prioritize paying off the house in Virginia? No, you should sell the house in Virginia. You don't live there anymore. And you said you want a house there. You said you have a 19-month toddler and 1 baby on the way. So, do we wanna buy a nice house for our family, or do we want to be real estate magnates? Unfortunately, you cannot do both all at the same time because income is limited. So you can't do that. Currently, I've been saving about 8,000, and so they're saving on top of that. Hopefully, on baby steps 4 at least. Let's see. Um, should be by to pay it off. Yes, pay it off by selling it. That way it goes immediately. How about that? We currently have been saving about 8,000 monthly in high yield savings account. That 100K cash retirement doesn't matter. That doesn't affect this. 600K Robinhood stocks. That's dumb as crap as well. No single stocks. You would not do that. 150K equals 150K. Oh, retirement 600K. Gotcha. Okay. All right. I got mixed up there because there were no commas. Debt 140K. So yeah, you're not doing any of this bull crap. No, there's no having a mortgage on a rental property while you have other debt as well. That is as dumb as crap. 140K student loans, low payments, doesn't matter, no credit card debt. Well, that's great. 38K car loan, paying this off with bonus check in April. 325K base salary, 150K base 325 base salary, 150K. Oh, I guess between them. All right. Well, then you got 2 babies, and then hey, childcare is a thing, or perhaps mom will be staying home with babies. And so you do not buy I mean, you can do like on 325. You can do, what is that? 650. I can do math. 650 and 150. So that's like a $700,000 mortgage. But hey, guess what? You'll have money when you sell the freaking Virginia house, and you can put it on the house, and then your mortgage will be even less. So yeah, you're looking at about a 700 mortgage. So theoretically, I think you would have enough, wouldn't you? Let's see, 400, and it's 800. So yeah, you can actually get about $1 million house. Because you can put enough down that would take the mortgage down to the amount that you can handle on just your 325K base salary, and you don't even need the 150K from the wife. Update, repairs have been minor or long ago. Yeah, that doesn't matter either. The thing that matters is you have non-mortgage debt, and that needs to be taken care of first. So you would use some of that money to, of course, pay off the debt. How much was that again? That was 140. Yeah, so you would pay that off as well. And the freaking dumbass car loan. My goodness, people all. I mean, unfortunately, quite normal. Everybody thinks you're supposed to do it like this. Dumb as crap. Hey, I got a great idea. Take the 150K out of freaking single stocks and pay off your student loan. So everything you're doing here is bad. Do correct decisions. How about we go by the baby steps and see, when you didn't run your life according to the baby steps, and you all of a sudden are here on the Ramsey subreddit, theoretically seeking Ramsey advice, then you make your life fit the baby steps. You undo all the stuff that the baby steps said not to do, which is get that mortgage in Virginia in the first place, and then keeping it was dumb as crap. And so you would fix it like that. And the good news is here that with the 400K equity in the house and your single dumb stocks that you can cash out, which are probably today they're probably worth less, but this was 6 days ago. So should have cashed those out immediately. And see, you work on the baby steps, and the baby steps should take priority over somebody that is on the internet, some financial bro or something like that, saying, "Oh, you never sell real estate." Dumb as crap, people. Dumb as crap. Don't do that. Bad. Bad. So, no, you don't. I mean, you can buy I mean, if you do all the things I said to do, and that would happen in a fairly short time, depending on, it just depends on how fast the house will sell. But hey, student loan. So in Ramsey world, I don't know what world you're in, but in Ramsey world, you're on baby step 2. And so the immediate solution to that is that you sell those single stocks and you pay off your freaking student loans. And then you make sure you have your full emergency fund, 3 to 6 months of expenses, and that you are investing. They already are. Make sure it's 15% of gross. No more than that until step 7. But yeah, you sell that dumb house as well. And then that way you can buy another house. I don't necessarily think you need $1 million house. But people, of course, are nutty. They think, oh, well, we have to live in this particular neighborhood. We have to. No, you do not. I'm sure Pennsylvania has much lower priced houses than $1 million. That's not the starter. That's not a starter home in the Pennsylvania. Yeah, Marshall, laughing about decent home in Pennsylvania. People are stupid. They're just stupid. That's all. They get this dumb crap in their minds. It is a decent home. You are spoiled as heck, people. Unbelievable. Alrighty. So let's see. Maybe this one will be better. Good boy sweater Tris. Sick and tired of being sick and tired. And this has ellipses that are not just style. These are ellipses that mean, hey, there's more. Not much more, though. Baby step 2, flare. Okay, great. So we shouldn't be worried about anything that's above step 2 at the moment. I've been bogged down by payments and payments for as long as I've been financially independent, and I'm sick of it. Well, that's what happens when you take out debt, and that's why Mr. Ramsey would say, don't do that. That would be a nar from him on the debt. I got on the Ramsey train a year or 2 ago and fell off for a while. That will happen. I'm back on it now, though, and I vow to become completely debt-free by the end of 2025. Excellent. Got a pesky credit card that I've been paying on for years now. That should finally be paid off next month. Fabulous. On top of that, a small medical debt I just picked up should also be cleared up next month. Then the big boy. My car loan that I still owe almost 10K on. I've been paying on this sucker since January 2022. Probably should have sold the car then. At this point, it might make more sense to keep it. But, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, actually. 3 years ago, you should have sold that and you would have been much better off. And you'd get a beater. Dang it. Looking at some rough calculations, if I can stick to my budget, if you make yourself do that, or at least close to it, you make yourself do the exact thing. From now till to December, this car will be paid off and I will be debt free. Invigorated just by the thought. Yeah, and since that's the last one. But if you are looking at more than 3 years to pay off your debt, that is the sell something, sell cars, move down in house, that kind of thing. That's the key there. If you cannot pay it off in 3 years, that's the watershed there. Threshold. Invigorated by just the thought. Yeah, it's great. Highly advised. This is going to be made possible by a grant from the whatever foundation. This is going to be made possible by me sucking it up and getting a second job on top of my full-time job, 40 hours a week, on its own. Just ain't cutting it unless I want to live in payment. Thanks for coming to my I've had it moment. You are very welcome. I was glad to share it with YouTube. Excellent. Fish Final 1739. Saving options for kids. Hi everyone. Hi guys. What would Dave do? Flair. I would love to hear your preferred savings approach for your children's. How are you putting money back for your children's future? Would love to hear everyone's approaches, accounts, investments, all the things. Well, you wouldn't do that depending on what baby step you are on. So you're not doing any of that. So and the thing that you should do first is save for the kid college, and that's not until step 5. So if you're on 1, 2, and 3, you're not doing that yet. And of course, you know, if you're on step 7, you can do whatever you want. So you can do any kind of account of investments and so forth. But otherwise, a high yield savings account is fine for like saving for them for just general expenses. But saving for the kid college, you would probably do the ESA or the different states have different they all have different rules, but they all have a 529 plan for college, and those are both investments for college. And so, but you wouldn't do that unless you're on 4, 5, and 6. You would be putting money into steps 1, 2, and 3 if you're on steps 1, 2, and 3. And then you would be investing as priority over that, over saving for kid college or giving them any money at all. It's the 15% would be next. And so, but yeah, just like a high yield savings account for general stuff, but you want to take advantage of the ESAs and the 529s for college. If you're not sure they're going to go to college, you know, just regular savings, high yield savings account is fine. Or even investments at that, you know, at that point, it is up to you. But you would make sure, what Dave would do? Dave would have you be fine first. And as I said, at least on baby steps 4, 5, and 6 before you're doing any of that. Otherwise, that money goes to baby steps 1, 2, and 3. But I don't know, there's no like special things for kids other than the college plans, the educational saving account, and the 529 plans. What up, Simply? Saving 8K a month and renting. Marshall says, oh, so they have a make about $500,000 per year. Yep. So buy a house. Yep. Yeah, if they're sure they want to stay there, and maybe my intuition tells me that's not their first time they've ever been in Pennsylvania, so they may be familiar with the area already. But generally, the advice is to live there, rent there for a year, to make sure you shouldn't buy a house and then want to move within a year. That's to make that less likely to happen if you rent first. Sell the house. And so nobody ever wants to sell the house. They always want to keep it and turn it into a rental. Or they always want to keep they want to keep it even though they bought too much house. And so generally, if they're asking, the answer would be yes, but we'll see. New to Dave Ramsey, basically I'm drowning in my house, thinking of selling to move into an apartment. I'm an apprentice and still need 2 years of Sith schooling done at 3 months each intake. Always 2 there are, a master and an apprentice. It's just my kid and I. If I sell, come out with 100K, 80K after closing costs, realtor, and about 150K after all debts are paid off. Okay. Trucks, student loans, credit cards. All right. Might also think about selling the truck and move down in vehicle. It just depends on how much much is left on that and how long it will take to pay off. Does this make sense where my 60K income is freed up to just house-related payments and childcare? plus living necessities. I don't want to be in debt anymore, and it seems each month I'm only able to save $150 after everything. Well, you wouldn't be saving, you would be applying it to your debt. So you're thinking about it wrong. Pricing for condo is 260 to 350K in my area. Should I just put the 20% down and use the rest of the money for investing or a bigger down payment? If you are on step 4, yeah. But you have to have your full emergency fund too, in addition to paying off all the debts with the sale of the house. Thanks for reading. Adding in info. House costs per month 2,600. Additional costs of payments like truck cards equals 970. Yep. And so that's how you can only save about $150 after everything, because you got no margin, and so it probably is too much house. It does not say how much the house is worth and not like how much equity. Well, I guess they have equity. The equity they did say 180K. So maybe 200K plus in equity, and then closing costs, realtor, commish, because they like to make money as well. Let's see. Current pay after taxes fluctuates from 17 to 2,300 bi-weekly. Rental income is 600. Friend will move soon, so it will probably be 800 in rent very soon. Rental income. Where is is that just on the house that you are going to sell? So don't know about that. Don't know what's going on there. But yeah, if it's too much house, it's too much house. So let's see. So that's 3,400 a month. So yeah, it's very likely that the house is going to be too much for that income level. So don't have enough information, unfortunately. But yeah, you do sell the house, and I don't know, but maybe just renting a room in the house to friend. I don't know, or maybe two different people, because the friend is moving soon. So don't know about all of that, but sounds like selling the house would be the good thing to do. Even though, of course, financial bros and other people will say, "Oh, you never sell real estate." False. You do if it improves your financial situation. Feeling hopeless, how do you cope? And of course, the financial bros would think that a ton of debt that you have and having a mortgage on a house you can't afford, they would think that would be a better financial situation, but it's not. To us, a better financial situation is 0 on the debt part. Feeling hopeless, how do you cope? Well, you can watch the Ramsey show, and you do see debt-free screens on there. And by watching it, maybe you'll remember that Dave has a 30-year track record on that, millions of documented success stories. And I mean, if I did it, you can do it as well. Let's see. Hi, I have baby step 1 done. Excellent. That is the first step, after all, and so good. But I can't help but feel hopeless, like this will never end. It will. It will. Well, you got to look at things like, oh, buy a car, buy a house. Oh, so you don't have any of that stuff. Okay, so you do have to look at the budget and cut out everything that's not a necessity, not 100% a necessity. I feel hopeless, like this will never end. All my money is going to paying off debt. It is until the debt's done. And so if you bought stuff with that debt, that was dumb as crap. And so sell that stuff now if you're not using it regularly. If it's just sitting around, that was pretty dumb to buy with debt, wasn't it? Not smart to buy it with cash either if you're not going to use something. I will ever buy a car, a house. Well, you don't have to worry about that right now. Right now, you worry about your debt and you get that paid off. And then you can start worrying about step three. And you still don't worry about buying a car or a house. I mean, if you need a car, you can buy a beater, very cheap one. I don't even know if I want to own a house at this point. Okay, hey, guess what? You got plenty of time. See, this is a problem, and I get it. I get it. People, if you're not working, you can't do anything to improve your situation. So your head just keeps going and going and going and thinking about stuff. Oh, well, a house doesn't matter to you right now. House is so far away from you. You shouldn't even be thinking about it. No need to even think about it. Why don't you think about ways to get out of debt? And if you need to be spending money on stuff you're spending on. Let's see. Knowing there's 28,000 of debt over your head every day. I had more than that. No, my ex-wife and I had more than that. Uh, Even more than that. It was like 74,000, I think. Most of it was hers, but who's counting? Uh, which you don't. It's we, and we paid it all off. Um, so let's see. How do I not cry when I think about my future? Because you're gonna do everything you can to make it better. So and you do want to try to be logical. I know the feelings jump in there, and humans can't always be completely logical. But if you can, you think about the crying's not changing anything, not changing. Worrying about it is not changing anything. Doing something about it will make it better. Let's see, I make $24.50 an hour, work 40 hours a week. I Instacart, but also work at a grocery store. I just started a new job, so I wanted a break. I was working 6 days a week, and of course they need me so I could work 7 days a week, no day off. Yeah, and that's what you do, and that gets rid of the debt quicker. I just feel like for me, I'll totally get burnt out. Doesn't say how old, but if you're under 30, shut up. Burned out. You want to work more when you're younger, for sure. Trust me. I'm already overwhelmed. I'm driving a beater car. Okay, then why are you worried about buying a car then? See, you're being illogical, and I understand the emotions that come with this stuff, with debt, when you realize how dumbass of a thing it is to get into. When you realize that, it can get you down. Sure. Sure. I mean, I had my down days as well, but I realized that the plan was working. I realized that Dave's advice would be the correct thing to do. Finally, I figured it out. After being familiar with the advice for a long, 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 way too long before I started doing it, but eventually I did. And so at that point, you are doing what you can about the situation. And you don't need to feel bad about it if you are doing everything that you can. If you are working 7 days a week, then you can't do much more than that. I mean, you can work longer hours 7 days a week, but that's up to you. I think putting in 7 days is good. Unless that's 40 hours spread out over 7 days. And then you still have time to do some other stuff as well. Let's see. Beater car, dents, and embarrassed because I'm not a teenager. Okay, so one of the things about the Ramsey advice is, what helps? If you realize that it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks about what you're doing with your life. It doesn't matter. The only reason to be embarrassed is because you're worried about what other people think about anything. And granted, it seems like the older you get, the more you just don't care about anybody else's opinion. Especially broke people. And so, if I'm not gonna feel embarrassed because I have a beater car, and I don't have to have a beater car now, but I choose to because I don't care about cars, and that one works. How about that? But I don't care about that because most likely anybody that has a better car than mine, well, mine's a bad example because it's 2005, so probably a lot of people do have paid off cars that are older than that. I mean, younger than that, newer than that. But there's a lot of people that have car loans, and so that immediately makes mine better because and so I'm not embarrassed about that. So not a teenager doesn't sound like that far removed from it though. So maybe 20s or 30s. Family is of no help. They didn't do it. You are the one that did it. See, you have to take responsibility for it. I did this stupid thing and now I am going to fix it. And that is all you can do, is everything that you can do to fix it. It's the mindset of lack I was raised with that I've been fighting my entire life. What? How you all of you do this? All right. Are you really eating just rice and beans? Rice and beans is not a diet plan. It's not the Ramsey diet plan. It's a metaphor for cheap food. So you don't just have to eat that. And so people do really think that though. That's all you have to do, rice and beans. And so hey, if you're that worried about your debt that you're crying about it, then hey, why don't you just eat rice and beans? Why are you complaining about that? So you can't cry about your situation and then complain if you're not doing everything to get out of the situation. Of course, you can complain, but you should not, because that's within your control to maintain your grocery budget. Do you use every dollar? I do not. I tried it. I'm sure it works great for some people. It did not work great for me. So I went back to my spreadsheet. Is all your money going towards paying off of debt? It did when I had debt. Guess what? And because of that, I don't have debt now. How can I change my mindset? Well, you have to realize that you are getting out of it. It might not be as fast as you want to. It doesn't happen overnight. You probably didn't get all that debt overnight either, but taking that out and amassing that debt probably was a lot faster than paying it off will be. And so that should teach you to not ever do that dumb crap again. I was so hopeless the other day, felt like I couldn't breathe. I called a bankruptcy attorney. You're not bankrupt. You're not bankrupt. You just don't want to face it. You're just like in some kind of denial. You're like in a halfway thing. You are trying to pay it off. It seems like you are trying to pay it off. You just don't want it to take as long as it's going to take. Too bad. TLDR, too long didn't read, and make $50,000, owed 28 in debt, credit cards. I need coping strategies. Thank you in advance. Well, and it helps if you, instead of crying and thinking about things like you are thinking about it, think of ways to get rid of that debt. Like, do you have anything that you bought with those dumb credit cards that you can sell? Are you working as much as you can? 7 days sounds like pretty good, but maybe you can work a little bit more. And so that's the thing. You do have to try to be a little more logical and think, okay, the crying is not going to help anything. That's not going to change the amount that I owe. You don't get such a little penny off per tier. That's not how it works. You do actually have to pay it off, but you're not bankrupt in this situation. So, and your family not a help. Family is of no help! Exclamation point. What are they supposed to do? Pay it off for you? So I don't know what this person is I mean, some people need counseling even for something like this. If they can't, if they're sad all the time, they could probably benefit from counseling. But generally, how you cope is by you are so busy from working that you don't have time to come on to the Reddit and post stuff like this because you're too busy working to get out of that debt. And you're so busy working that you go home and you sleep, you don't start getting on the Reddit and scrolling through the gram and so forth. And so, yeah, you have to shift your own mind there. Mr. Ramsey just gives you this advice. He's not going to do it for you. And none of the baby steps are hit up family for money to pay off your debt. That's not part of the plan. Boom, 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 boom. Marshall. Yeah, unfortunately. Am I a religious man? Yes, I am. Simply, why do you ask? 28K doesn't seem a lot to me with 50K income. Yeah, it's not, but I mean, I'm thinking early 20s here. So, seemed like a female young lady possibly. Didn't say, but and so I can see how it's bad. I mean, I don't. I can relate how I felt with our 74K debt, and I can relate that to her having 28 alone. Of course I can. I don't say like, oh, well she didn't worry about that at all cuz I had way more. No, I still get it. She could have the same exact feelings about that. And so I do get it, but once I decided to get rid of the debt, then I was all about getting rid of the debt instead of, having a pity party. And so, humans have to cry sometimes. I have to cry as well sometimes. So you cry, but that doesn't become your everyday mode. Let's see. Just wondering. I know Dave is, but you never mention it. No, I don't. I don't get too much into that, but yes, I am religious. Um, like it doesn't like for this stream, it's the baby steps. The definitely it's God's and Grandma's advice as well. But it really doesn't. It's not necessary. Is my whole thing about that. And I got no problem with Dave. Is Dave's show. He can bring it up whatever he wants to. I bring up whatever I want to on here. But the main thing about the baby steps is it doesn't matter if you're a Christian or not, or if you're religious or not, or whatever religion you are. You could still do the baby steps, even though he says they're based biblically based, God's and Grandma's rules, and they're biblically based. It doesn't matter what they're based on. It's still a good idea to do those, and so you should do those. So that's my feelings on that. And if that would go away, there, well, I guess I could do, I didn't want to do that necessarily. There we go. Oh, it's dots anyway, so let's open that one. That's from Affectionate Ad 828. Not a sponsor, though. Not a sponsored thing, not an ad, actually. Should I? A lot of people have ad in their name there. I don't wonder if that means something. Affectionate Ad 828. Like an alternate user name or something like that. I don't know what that is. A lot of people have AD in their username on here. I'm 43 for reference, still a baby to me. Maybe a teenager to me. My old car died. That will happen. Had no car payments for 3 whole months. Ugh. That'll happen. Interest rates are high on the car. 6.5 and 3% on the house. I'm already on track to pay out the house 5 years early. Sounds like this person wants to do it wrong. Let's see. Just wondering if I should stop putting money in my Fidelity account for retirement. I'm assuming for the next 3 years. I'm doing a match for my other retirement account through work, and pay off the car while paying a little extra on the mortgage, or take the 6 years to pay off my car. Uh, oh, I see what happened. Pay a little extra on the mortgage and keep with my normal 15% on retirement. Um, don't want to screw myself over for retirement later on, but I could also put more away later with no car payment. Dot dot dot. Here's a style. Dot dot dot. Not just there's more on the next page. And so this is a locked post, and I get this because this is dumb as crap. Oh, car died. I had no car payment for 3 whole months. Equals, and then I got one on a new car, and that was dumb as crap. So this is your fault for doing this. 6 years to pay off the car. So this is all on you. But now that you're in this spot, if that's a brand new car, you sell it immediately. Because there's no 6 years on baby step 2. So you would sell that immediately, and yeah, you might not get as much for it as you paid for it. But that's tough crap. That's your stupid tax. But that would be the advice. You sell that immediately and you buy a beater in cash. And so guess what? Step 2, you're not investing. That's a no, and you're not putting extra on the mortgage either. So you get rid of that debt on the car by selling it. You make sure you have your full if that's your only debt. Then that's done. You save your full emergency fund. And only after you have the full emergency fund, then you start investing again. But there's no multiple accounts and putting a little bit extra there. Maybe that's 15% with the company and the Fidelity account. Maybe combined it's 15%, but whatever. You would not be doing that while you have car debt. So that's a nar on that. So everything you're doing here is bad, and you're here on the Dave Ramsey subreddit, and maybe you just realized that debt wasn't a good idea right after you got this new car payment, even if it is on a used car. No payments is the plan, my friend. Already on track to pay off the house fire early. You're doing it wrong. Again, you would not pay off the house early and then also get a car loan. That's dumb as crap. So yeah, you stop everything while you address the car debt. And like, you don't even have to stop retirement if you have enough for full emergency fund already saved up, which also should be applied to the debt. But basically, we're doing a thing where you sell the car, and then get a beater, and then maybe you don't have to, since you could do that within a short period of time, then maybe you don't have to stop the automatic withdrawal at work or whatever, the automatic contribution into your retirement account. But so you get rid of that and you stop trying to do later steps and don't take on any more other debt. So that's where you screwed yourself over for retirement later on. Hey, guess taking out more loans is making retire. How do you get to Ramsey's page? Maybe you did it after he got this dumb car loan. Who knows? Who knows? But you're doing it wrong. They all want to do it wrong or in the wrong order, and then are the first ones to fuss and say it doesn't work. That much is certain. Simply magical elixir. Magical Elixir. Last time I checked, the owner of the company that does the show is Dave Ramsey. And so that means the show can be whatever he wants it to be about. So you sitting at your house, I mean, I appreciate you watching for sure, so maybe I shouldn't insult you, but you sitting at your house doesn't mean anything. Doesn't matter what you think about it. And so that's the thing here. Maybe some of these people, especially younger people, maybe they care so much what people think is because they think other people care that much about what they think, and they don't. Darth Vader with a W, 1981. Recommendation on house related debt. Well, that would be to pay it off. I don't have to. Whoops. Is it gonna and we go back. There we go. Recommendations on house related debt. Currently on baby step 2 and should have knocked out in the next 12 to 18 months. I was curious about those that have house related debt and if you take care of in baby step 2 or as part of baby step 6 with the house. For context, I have a HELOC. Of course you do. Because nobody can wait to do a remodel. Or they think, oh, I'll just debt leverage my house to pay off loans that I have. Let's see, 19 to 10%. And a loan for addition to my house at $35K, 4.99 and a mortgage. Yeah, all of that stuff is step 2 debt. Mortgage of $220K at 5.75. I'd like recommendations on if I should treat this HELOC and house addition loan as baby step 2. That's what it is, yes. Or tackle it with baby step 2, yes. That's the same thing. Treat it as baby step 2 or tackle it baby step 2. Person got confused while writing it. It happens. I'm leaning towards baby step 2, but open to hearing thoughts and benefits of which one. Yeah, baby step 2, because you shouldn't have done that in the first place, so you need to get rid of those ASAP. You don't need to put additions on your house. And granted, could be before this person was Darth Vader was needs to use the Force, of course, but before he was familiar with Mr. Ramsey. But people are sometimes familiar with Mr. Ramsey. And they're supposedly following the baby steps, but then they do dumb crap like, oh, I need to put an addition on my house. And what was the HELOC for? Also the addition to the house? Oh, well, if I put an addition to it, then I need to buy furniture. Dumb. Dumb, 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 dumb. Don't be dumb. That should be part of baby step 0. Stop being dumb. Nuevo Ramsey Bambino. That is not new. New is nueve with an E in it instead of the O. So I don't know what Bambino is. Spanish. Let's see. Monthly discretionary spending. Okay. Let's see what the problem is. Somewhat frequent poster here. 40 man. Married. Yeah, that's why I have seen that name quite a bit before. Married with 2 kids in elementary school. Our gross income was approximately $325,000 combined last year. Off to a good start this year. Okay. We have a budget that leaves about $6,500 in discretionary money each month, but we tend to spend all of that each month. That's a lot of spendy, my friend. I mean, that's a good income, but that's a lot of spendy. How about we save some of that? Or invest some of that? Or, oh, I don't know, if we have a mortgage, maybe we pay that off early, as is one of the baby steps. Let's see, how are other families of 4 not spending that much money? What do you mean? How are other families of 4 not spending that much money? You mean $65,000 in discretionary money? Discretionary money is extra spending on crap that's not 100% necessary, is what that is. So I'm not understanding the logic flow of this questionnaire. How are other families of four not spending that much money? It doesn't feel like, for me, we're excessive, but maybe we are. Yes, that's a lot. And that's after budgeting for the big stuff: mortgage, gas, groceries, bills, streaming service, insurance. Okay, okay. That's not the big stuff. This is the stuff. What you're spending the 6,500 on a month, that's the big stuff. That's the dumb stuff. And so you should prioritize the baby steps before. I mean, basically, what this is $6,500 a month in fun money, is what it is. And that does seem excessive. I just want to understand how other families of four get by without spending that extra 6K plus each month. I don't get it. Maybe he's talking about for like things that come up that you didn't know about when you had in your that you didn't put in your budget. Okay, so the problem, like, guess what? Somebody's birthday isn't gonna move from year to year, so you should know where it is if you are close enough to them to buy them a birthday present. So the fact that you forgot and didn't put it in the budget, you can, have a budget meeting and decide to cash flow it, or whatever you want to do, but that's too much extra spending. What are you spending that on, and is it 100% necessary? If it's not 100% necessary, you don't have to spend it then. So, baby step 4 here. Okay, so you want to go on vacation? Great. Do a sinking fund for vacation. But the rest of it should be going towards paying off the house early. I mean, or you got 2 kids as well. Maybe you need to address step 5, in addition to, of course, doing the 15% of investing. So you wouldn't be spending that money and not investing 15%. That would be dumb as crap. So, and if this is a frequent poster, you should be familiar enough with the Ramsey advice that you should freaking know better. Should I take a trip to Japan next year? Maybe this was the guy that called today. I wonder. Boom, 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 boom. Marshall had to bounce. What time is it? Oh, we're at hour 10 already. I am always astounded. Nice try on spelling Bethlehem magical. Good job. Nice try. Try harder. Designer clothes bag simply says, designer clothes bags. Anything sounds like splurging on things and eating out constantly. Yeah, yeah. I would be dropping that 6,500 on the principal of the house each month. Right. That's right. Simply because you have looked over the baby steps once or twice, and you decided to do that. And this person doesn't have to do the baby steps, but if you are going to be a somewhat frequent poster on the Dave Ramsey subreddit, I expect you to be familiar with the advice at least a little bit. You don't have to know every single thing about it, but you do have to know that you're doing it wrong, and you knew that was coming. And should I take a trip to Japan next year? The guy today was told yes. Step 3B, 24, and have no debt. Currently have approximately 15K in savings. This will be about 22 come these lives here. After which I plan on moving out of my dad's house. We're in Colorado. I think that's where the person was today. So this might be the exact same person. And Ken and Jade told him to go to Japan. Yeah. And Wyoming was mentioned as well. So I believe this is that exact same person. This was 6 days ago, and he called the show today and got through. So great. And what's there? I'll bring home about 3,900 a month total before expenses. Presuming I keep saving and start investing. Should I take 5K or so and have a nice trip? Yes. And they told him yes. And I didn't pay 100% attention to the call. I'm always more focused on the chat, but that's what I caught out of that. I've never really been on actual vacation since I was much younger. So I mean, step 3B, that means you are, if you weren't saving for the down payment on the house, that means you would be in step 4. So basically, you're right there. I say it's step 4. That's when you can start taking vacations and you can just budget them and save up for them and take them. So yeah, that's fine. Tavros77, should I sell my investments to pay off my debt faster? If they are not in a retirement account, of which there would be penalties to sell those, then yes, you would do that. I have 3,662 dollars of credit card debt at 0%, doesn't matter, APR. I have about 1K in investments from my employee stock share program. Should I sell to help get my debt down? Yes. Especially when it would come close to being a third of it. Maybe 28% or something like that. Just a guess. Yes, you would do that. I would like to mention, hashtag mention, shout out Matty Bags. I'm trying to pay off my debt to save for a wedding next year. Okay. That's good priorities. If you want to get married faster, you can go to Justice of the Peace and then have a big party after you're out of debt and have your full emergency fund. I'll also be getting a bonus of around $3,000 next month. Well, then all that goes to the debt. So between the two of those, the employee stock and the 3K bonus next month, that you're out of debt. So then you got to do the full emergency fund. And there's no, a lot of people like to finesse it and have the full emergency fund be part of the down payment. And that's a NAR. You have to have the full emergency fund complete and not touchable by anything except emergencies. And only then do you start saving on 3B for the down payment. I'd like to mention I'm trying about debt. Oh, I did that one already. I'm also working 6 days a week and 12 hours each day to try to do things, not try and pay off my debt faster. I'm making around 30 an hour. Any advice would be welcome. Baby step 2, if you can work more, work more. If you can bring in any extra money doing any kind of side hustle, do that as well. But because that will help you again with the full emergency fund and saving for a wedding even after you get done with the credit card debt. So yeah, you would do all the things to get rid of your debt as fast as possible and then go from there. Alrighty. Yep, keeping up with the Joneses. That's right. Simply, they would fuss at me and tell me to sell the car. But I don't fuss and complain, and I had the car prior to learning about the steps. Our secret, I'm working, paying it off, though. All right. Yep. I mean, you know what you're doing. You're familiar with I don't have to guess with you. You know the advice. You're just choosing not to follow it. And that's fine. I have if I could only have friends that follow the Ramsey advice exactly the way he advises it, I would have almost no friends. So so I have plenty of friends that aren't doing it all, and plenty of friends that are probably going to be in debt forever. And so, but you can still love people like that. But yeah. Once more, Coach Steve Money. And you're watching this on youtube.com/Coach Steve Money. You just scroll down past the Oak Island playlist and you'll see the Ramsey Show Aftershow show playlist. 495 episodes. Friday should be the 500th. Answering your financial questions. There's 137 of those. So 800 hours of me telling people they're doing it wrong. And the music playlist is... there's 11 Ramsey Jason songs in there, and there will be one new one on Friday for that episode 500 of the Ramsey Show Aftershow show. Very, very nice about that. Kind of stoked about that. Do 500 shows. Interesting. All right. Anyway, just was reflecting on that. Sorry. I am a Ramsey Solutions certified financial coach. Not just some guy telling you you're doing it wrong. They actually certified me to tell you that you're doing it wrong. And if you have money problems, or you just want to know if you're on the right track, or if you just need somebody to tell you that you're doing it wrong, you can schedule a free financial coaching consultation with me at calendly.com/Coach Steve Money. That's in the ticker below, also in the video description, as are all of these plugs. Email address is coachstevemoney@gmail.com. You can use that for any financial questions or anything about anything that's on my YouTube channel or anything else. Donation can go to paypal.me/Coach Steve Money, or to CashApp $Coach Steve Money, or Walmart gift card to, again, Coach Steve Money @gmail.com. Upcoming streams until further notice. The Ramsey Show Aftershow show will start at 5:25 p.m. Eastern Time, and that's the time when the Ramsey Show is done with YouTube, and that's when I start. Alrighty, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, like, and liking is that thumbs up button, and you don't have to smash it. You can lightly graze it, and much appreciated. Oh, and comment as well. And that's all I say, right? Oh, I also look at the camera, the webcam, and I say, make smart. It's written right up there for me, so I don't forget. Make smart financial decisions every day.